Margaret O'Brien, the greatest child star of the 1940s. Margaret O'Brien's journey to become one of the most cherished child stars of all time is one of the most captivating stories in Hollywood history. Born Angela Maxine O'Brien on January 15, 1937, in San Diego, California, Margaret showed an early inclination towards acting. Her mother, Gladys Flores, was a well-known flamenco dancer who worked in casinos and hotels for Rita Hayworth family's dance company, which meant that Margaret was no stranger to the world of show business. She was barely 2 when she first exhibited a talent for acting, impressing those around her with her ability to express emotions far beyond her years. O'Brien recalls that her mother and aunt were having photos taken for a show with a renowned photographer, but her mother couldn't find a babysitter or a dog sitter, so both Margaret, age 3, and the pup accompanied the ladies to the shoot. When they walked into the studio, the photographer said, "That's the face I'm looking for. I'm doing a cover for the Saturday Evening Post, and that's the perfect face." Well, my mother thought it was for her, but he was talking about the dog. My mother said, "The baby's not too bad either. Can you put the baby in with the dog?" And we made the cover. And then I did 4 or 5 covers with my dog, Margaret O'Brien recalled. MGM discovered her from these magazine covers. They loved her expressive face, especially her eyes. They probably did not fully understand that they were getting what would become one of the greatest actresses of her generation. Margaret was signed by MGM, a leading film studio of the time. MGM was confident in her potential. MGM was at the forefront of the film industry, and signing with them was a significant milestone for any actor, let alone a child of Margaret's age. Her first film appearance was in Babes on Broadway, 1941, in an uncredited role. This film was very successful as Mickey Rooney was already a top star at the time, and the film featured Judy Garland, a star increasing in fame and notoriety. The film was directed by one of the most well-known directors of the time, Busby Berkeley. Margaret's short yet memorable scene left a favorable impression on all.
No children. No children.
Wait. Don't send my brother to the chair.
O'Brien later revealed that her mother actually wrote her dialogue, which was, "Please don't send my brother to the chair. Please don't let him burn." From this point on, Margaret's ascent to stardom was meteoric. She quickly became known for her ability to cry on cue, a rare skill that set her apart from other child actors. Margaret's selection for the title role in Journey for Margaret, 1942, was the huge pivotal moment in her career. This highly anticipated movie set against the backdrop of World War II required a child actor who could handle the emotional complexities of a war-torn rescue story as she plays a young orphan in war-torn England. This film was a powerhouse that brought attention to the impact of World War II on children. The search for the right child for the part was extensive and well-publicized, with the studio meticulously auditioning numerous young talents. When Margaret O'Brien was cast, she was not yet a household name. However, her audition for Journey for Margaret left the casting directors and producers in awe. At the tender age of 5, O'Brien exhibited an extraordinary ability to express profound emotions and an understanding of the character well beyond her years. The film was a success, and Journey for Margaret was a turning point in O'Brien's career. It established her as a serious actress with an ability to tackle demanding roles. The film also demonstrated the potential of child actors in leading roles and opened doors for more complex and substantial roles for young talents in Hollywood. Up until this film release, she was still known by her birth name, Angela O'Brien. But upon the film's completion, she asked her mother to change her name officially to Margaret in honor of her role as Margaret in the film. Margaret's popularity would soar as she made a steady stream of appearances in well-known films in this era, many of which are still revered to this day. She did a skit in Thousands Cheer, 1943, with Red Skelton. She played Irene Curie, a 5-year-old daughter, in the film of Madame Curie, 1943. She stole the show in Lost Angel, 1943, where she was billed as the biggest little star in the world of entertainment, as well as a little package of dramatic dynamite. This movie was written entirely for Margaret O'Brien. She is the center of the film. She dominates the film, and when she's on screen, you can hardly take your eyes off of her. She had an uncanny ability to perform in a way that made you forget that she was a
I
child.
suppose you read it every day.
In this film, Margaret showed that she was a full-blown actress, not just a child
Just
performer.
a little man about
Margaret then appeared in the well-known film Jane Eyre, 1943, an eerie and haunting film that is a true adaptation of the classic book. In 1944, she would star in the role of a lifetime as Tootie Smith in the holiday film Meet Me in St. Louis, where she co-starred alongside Judy Garland. Her portrayal of Tootie was not only critically acclaimed, but beloved by audiences worldwide. In a memorable part of the film, she danced and sang with the ever-so-popular Judy Garland. Another unforgettable scene in the film involves Tootie's Halloween misadventures, where O'Brien masterfully blends elements of fear, excitement, and childhood innocence into her thrill-seeking adventures. Another iconic moment is the heart-wrenching scene where Judy Garland sings "Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas," one of the most well-known moments in classic movie history.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart
Meet Me in St. Louis afforded her great liberty to use her talents as she took over the film in many places, stealing the show from the main characters, portraying a deeply emotional and troubled child who craved attention and would go to great lengths to get the focus she desired. Her powerhouse performance earned her a special Juvenile Academy Award in 1945, which was presented to her by her idol, Bob Hope. Within a few short years, Margaret O'Brien had risen to heights not seen from a child actor since Shirley Temple in the 1930s. A feat that seemed highly unlikely, if not impossible. She would continue to be very popular throughout the rest of the 1940s, as she was in many popular films, including Music for Millions, 1944, Our Vines Have Tender Grapes, 1945, 10th Avenue Angel, 1948, Little Women, 1949, which co-starred Elizabeth Taylor, Janet Leigh, and June Allison, and The Secret Garden, 1949. Margaret O'Brien will be forever remembered as the greatest child star of the 1940s, and certainly one of the greatest child stars of all time. She proved that a child actress could handle more serious and emotional roles, and that a child could be a captivating leading star in complex dramatic films with other adult actors.